Today I want to talk a little bit about fear. See, fear puts your eyes, your thoughts, everything upon yourself. Puts it on self-preservation, on what your resources and your abilities are in dealing with a situation. What it does also is it takes your eyes off of Christ and His ability, His power, and His provision. See, that's what faith does. Trust, belief puts your eyes back onto Christ instead of self. So fear fights against faith. In 1 John 4:18, we see a very key verse to understanding what our new covenant relationship is with Christ, with God our Father. Since they're all in unity together, we know now what our new relationship is with them. It says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, for fear has to do with punishment. And whoever fears has not been perfected in love. We love because He first loved us." I remember when I was a kid, and I had this great fear of my father, my stepfather actually. And I was out at the farm one day and started up the tractor, and unbeknownst to me, this tractor was broken, the thing that turns it off. And I was just young enough where I didn't know you could pop the clutch and stall the tractor, so the tractor ran and ran and ran, and I thought, man, this thing has got to run out of gas at any moment, but it didn't. Unfortunately, the neighbor knew that I had the tractor on, and luckily he came over and popped the clutch and stalled the tractor, but I knew I was in trouble. I didn't want to go around my dad at all. Matter of fact, I avoided him because I knew the punishment was coming, and I had great fear of him. And I think we see many Christians living like that today. They don't realize that all of their sins have been forgiven. What a great joy it is to know that, as Hebrews 4:16 says, that we can with confidence draw near to the throne of grace and receive mercy and find grace in our time of need. You can never draw near to God if we're always fearing punishment, if our eyes are on self and how our behavior, and if we're living up to what we think God needs us to do, and did we do enough? It becomes this religious treadmill that honestly just gets exhausting, and honestly our eyes are upon ourselves the whole time in that religious treadmill. There was a verse in Revelation 21:8 that always bothered me, and I couldn't figure out what it was talking about. It said, "But for the fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, fornicators, the sorcerers, the idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which is the second death." I understood why the murderers would. I understood why the idolaters, the sorcerers. I even understood why the unbelieving. But the fearful? I thought I was supposed to fear God. God up there, and me, this little thing that had to sit here and bow under His feet, and, fear God. I can't come close to Him because I have to fear Him. But then I have this verse. We see that in the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:24. The one that's given 5 or 10, the one that's given 5, the one that's given 2, and the other one that's given 1. And the one that's given 5 goes out and multiplies, 2 multiplies, but the one hides it. And he has a very key statement in Matthew 25:24 and 25. He said, "He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, 'Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours.'" See, he was afraid, he was fearful. And we know that because he never knew God, he never knew Christ. Christ is not a hard man. He's not reaping where he didn't sow. He's not gathering where he had scattered no seed. He didn't know the character of God. He didn't understand who God was. In fact, in Matthew 7:23, when he separates out, as Christ is talking about the end of times, and he separates out the sheep and the goats, the one thing he says to the goats are, "I'll declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, worker of iniquity," worker of lawlessness. See, it's about knowing. It's about drawing close and knowing intimately that your Father has such great love, that Christ has nothing but joy for you. It's knowing Romans 8:1 is real whether you feel like it's real or not, that there is now no condemnation for those that are in Christ Jesus. Why? Because all sin has been forgiven. And now you can trust in your Father to bring you home safely and draw near to the throne of grace when you need mercy and grace. Thanks for watching. For more videos, go to www.promisedgrace.com. This is Dave Geisler saying thank you.